How's that? Can you guys hear that now? Does that work? Okay, that's really weird. Something with my OBS settings keep changing, but yeah, thanks guys for joining in. See, Novelkeys says still muted, but a couple people say that they can hear me. Who is lying and who is not? Let's see. Giraffe Chris says yes, sir, as well. Okay, well, who is on today? I see a Zujo, Diwitsu, Janky Render, Duncan Yo-Yo, Giraffe Chris, Novelkeys, Roly Poly. Thanks, guys, for joining in. Thanks, guys, for joining in. As I was saying, or as I was trying to mime on screen, we are doing a rebuild of the KBD67 Mark II RGB. This is a build that I've done before, and if you guys watched my review on it, I completely bashed. But I figure I'd give it another try. You know, it's probably one of the more popular 65% in the world today, not just because it's affordable, but it's also like sold in the hundreds, if not thousands. In fact, I think there's another group buy coming up as well. Oh, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So yeah, let's go check out this board. Disclaimer, I have not actually used this for quite some time, probably for the last 2 months. I've been preoccupied with customer boards and of course my very own Iron 165, but you know, might as well give it another chance. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, before we get started, what is Merlin drinking? Honey green tea, like I always do pretty much every Saturday. These are about $1 at my local grocery store. I drink lots of tea, and this one happens to be my favorite tea of all. Let's see a couple people messaging me. Mosaic Dev says, hey Merlin, your porting of various keyboards to VIA helped me out a ton. Now I got my own PCB with QMK and VIA support. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Just because I basically do this. Just so I can teach you guys how to do this on my own, or on your own. We have well over 900 boards in QMK. I'd love to see a majority of them in VIA. Zuju says, hey Merlin, you look clean today. Well, you know, I've had to make appearances. Speaking of going out these days, I went out to the hospital yesterday. Nothing serious, just my regular checkup, actually. My regular yearly checkup. It was supposed to be in February, but you guys know what happened in February. So I finally braved coronavirus and went in today. And I don't know what the deal was, but the lab tech just completely screwed up in terms of getting blood from me. Like, they kept on poking and prodding. I think they tried 2 on my left. And they just couldn't get it, and then 1 on my right, and before you know it, like as soon as like they were getting four vials from me. By the 3rd vial, I started passing out. Apparently, I passed out for like 5 seconds. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I'm feeling much better today. Ate a steak last night to make up for my iron deficiency. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Let's turn on some music. Hopefully you guys can hear this music, as we don't know what's going on. Yeah, I passed out for like 5 seconds. It was the strangest feeling ever. Like, I totally knew it was going to happen, right? Because the first thing that happened was I lost vision in my right eye. It was completely black. And I was like, oh, great. I know this. I know this feeling. And then I lost vision in my left. And then I was out. Okay, let's get some music going. Let me know if you guys can hear this. It's showing up on my OBS, so hopefully it's making it over to you guys. Loud and clear, okay. That's good, because now I can lower it back to its regular volume. There we go, perfect, perfect. Okay. That makes sure that it's not you guys not turning your speakers up. It's on my side. So that's great. That's great. Awesome. All right. Okay, as I was saying, today's KBD67 build day. This is my very own unit. I will be building more in the future because many people seem to send these to me. This is running XDA Oblique from Dixie Mac. This is a group buy back when he first started the store. And I am running Yok Tactile Trash Pandas, sold on Novelkeys quite some time ago. I believe... Like, I recently got blueberries. I believe the blueberries feel more tactile and smoother than these. But blueberries really aren't that smooth as well anyway. So yeah, I've completely given up on tactile switches. I am completely switching over all of my boards to linear. Why did I even build this with tactile? I have no clue. Why? I absolutely have no clue. Maybe because I was more curious about the switch than I was about the tactility. Yeah. So keep in mind, this is probably... This is the KBD67 from the very first round, so there are a few things different with it. Quick specs. You may notice that my weight here is actually shiny. All other KBD67s that come out of KBDFans will have them matte, similar to how the plate is right now. I'm actually planning at some time in the future, if I end up liking this board with my new switches. New switches, by the way, are going to be Gateron blacks. This is not inks, these are just your regular milky top black bottoms that I've lubed with 205G0 and TX oil for all of those springs. See, I see a couple follows here. What the yellow? Thanks for following. Shiny brass is always a big yes for me. Yeah, I think I like the more subdued colors. Not a big fan of the shine. To be honest, you know. But when I have time in the future, I'll probably take off the weight and just sand it. Sand it with like steel wool or something. The matte brass on the PC67 looks much nicer. I agree. Looks like Tommy Hong agrees with me too. Yan says Brasso. Is that... Correct me if I'm wrong, that's like brass shining compound? That term is very familiar. Polish. Ah, okay, yeah. Yep. That was correct. There we go. Purple in all its goodness. Typically speaking, I would use a switch puller. Oh, look, that's funny. I've got like a Telio switch there. That's so random. What the heck? But yeah, typically speaking, you would take a switch puller and pull out each of these switches just because it's hot swap, right? But I want to be careful. I actually want to make sure that I have the back completely supported when I do this. So here goes. That lonely blue switch, I know, right? I was like, I don't even remember why I put that there. I might have to look at my old build just to see why. It's strange. All right, let's take this board apart. while I'm doing this, I'll just talk about this build really quick. The first time I built it completely stock. Nothing to write home about. I did not even lube the switches. I did not even put any kind of foam in it. And yeah, I was pretty disappointed. Xreaper90 says, hello Merlin, hello to you too. Yan says, I'm building my second discipline. First one had bad PCB, but Kosi took care of you. Awesome. Kosi's a great guy. I wish him all the success. And all of his little DIY builds and all that. So the second time I rebuilt this, I think, was in March or so. With that one, I put foam and I lubed the switches. And between the first time I built it and the second time I built it, my V1 PCB started crapping out on me. I think it was ESD or something. So I ended up buying a V2 PCB from Andy Nguyen. You guys know who he is. He is another fellow YouTuber, fellow streamer. In fact, I think he just applied for partnership lately, so he's doing really well. I bought his V2 PCB, which is funny because I think he regretted selling it to me, since I think 2 weeks after that he bought another PCB. So yeah, here goes. I'm glad he sold it to me because now I have a ESD protected KBD67. There we go. And there is my foam that I actually did a pretty good job cutting that. What do you guys think? Look at that. I normally don't cut foam this well, but this looks pretty damn near perfect. Look at that, guys. Dang. Proud of myself. Proud of myself here. Alright, okay. Let's do this. No Chance RPG says, are you aware of anyone who cut a custom polycarb plate? No, I'm not actually. Garlic WTF says, should I get KBD67 Mark II or wait for some other board? That depends entirely on your budget and your patience, actually. I think for the longest time, I've always touted that if you want a cheaper 65%, the NK65 from Novelkeys is the better buy. So, but after I build this with my Gaterons, with my Gateron blacks, maybe my tune will change. Budget is around 300. I think for a budget like that, the NK65 is still the better buy. But here, let me check out my list really quick. I think there may be a few group buys starting that's around that same price point. We'll see. Not really. Well, yeah, sure. NK65 or KBD67, I guess. The choice is up to you. Depends which features you value more, I guess. Alright, let's get these switches out. One thing I hate about using something like this is that when you're pulling out switches, there's a very high chance that you will scratch the plate. And I'd rather avoid that, so I'm actually going to push the switches from the back here. Cuber says, are you going to try standoff-less build this time? No, I'm absolutely not going to try doing that. Simply because on a hot swap build, I've noticed that if you just use switches to adhere the PCB to the plate, what's going to happen is it's going to introduce a lot of flex across the entire PCB, and slowly but surely your hot swap sockets will get looser and looser. And when that happens, you'll randomly get switches that don't work and you'll be like, huh? Why does this not work? It was working yesterday. There we go. Yep, I'm gonna push it from the back. That seems to be the better approach. Is NK65 coming anytime soon? I believe the budget is coming back sometime this month in a different color. Instead of purple, it'll be white. Garlic says, or else I might just go with 65 Mark II. Neither board is bad. I just personally think that the NK65 is better. See, Sanda says, did you get in on the Ori 87? No, I did not. So what I'm doing here is I'm using a tweezer just to push out that center column. Yawk Tactile Trash Pandas don't actually have the PCB mounting pins, as you guys can see. So it's much easier to push out. If they had the PCB mounting pins, like my Gateron Blacks will, this will be much harder. X Reaper says, how can you build a KBD67 for less than 300? Probably Gateron switches or Kale switches. And let's say maybe cheap stabilizers. And like the stabilizers that came with the kit. And possibly $40 keycap. Tai-Hao. Anything like that. Gat yellows and cherry stabs. Yeah, it's totally possible. Ban the bot. Doesn't KBD67 Mark II come with stabs included? Yes, it does. Hey guys, check it out. I'm also doing these with cherry PCB mounts. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I think they were trash stabs. I agree. I think I threw them out. Basically, my policy is if I get stabs from anywhere and I can't verify if it's Durock, cherry, whatever, I just throw them out. Cherry PCB mounts aren't bad. They're not. They're not. These are actually vintage ones too. By vintage, I mean like stuff that I've had for like 4 years. Not like vintage in the sense that it came from the 80s. I would not use any of those. Those are a little too old for my tastes. Yeah, I'm actually waiting for the NK65 V2 to like pop back up. I really want one of those polycarb cases. Either that or the Ramakara. I'd much prefer an NK65 because it's in a layout that I actually like. The Ramakara is just HHKB if I'm not mistaken. Garlic says NK65 is so hard to get. I know, man, I know. That was so sad actually when I missed out on the budget build. What's sadder though is the number of people who sent Mike of Novelkeys. That's death threats just because they did not get a KBD67. Yeah, you guys heard that right. People sent death threats over a keyboard. Petty children, says Tommy Hong. Yeah, I know, right? Zoom Walt says who? We don't know who. Mike didn't say who. But I think if you read through that thread, not everyone was very amicable. Yeah, someone from India will never be able to buy it because of time zone difference. Yeah, that's a very good point. Sucks big time. Am I from Hogwarts? No, I'm from Camelot. Let's see, Static says, I ordered the Polycarb NK64 and was shipped the silver alu version in my... Oh man, dude. Yeah, that's... I feel like KBD67 is able to scale all of their production, but they can't seem to scale their customer support or their QC very well. Some Texan says, new to the hobby here. Snap-in stabs came with my order. Will the toothpick mod with Band-Aid ever come close to screw-in stabs? Also, screw-ins are on the way. If screw-ins are on the way, don't even attempt that. That will only get you, in my opinion, 30 to 40% of the way there. Will it be an improvement? Yes, it will. But is it worth your time? Probably no. Alright, got almost all of them out. What is the best plate mount stab in your opinion? If I absolutely have to use plate mount stabs, I just stick with Cherry, because I've got a bunch of them. I've never actually heard of anyone else who makes plate mount stabs other than maybe some Chinese off-brand ones. They couldn't make the blue for the KBD8X. They could only make royal blue. Yep. Not a good look there. Are there? There are generic ones. Yeah, I would stay away from generic stabs. May it be PCB mount or screw-ins. Just because stabs make such a huge difference in your board. And just saving like a few dollars there isn't gonna do you any favors. My opinion on creamsicles. Remind me again what a creamsicle is. I'm assuming it's a cream housing with some orange stem of sorts. Yeah, cream stems are definitely longer. Tangy housing. Ah, okay. Tangy housing plus cream stems. Okay, here's the thing. I am not a big fan of the sound of UHMWPE, which is the material that those tangies are made of. In fact, here we go. When I bought my tangerines, I removed all of the tops and I replaced them with cherry tops. So now I've got a bunch of random tangy tops. If anyone wants to take them off my hands for the cost of shipping, send me a PM. Let's say Harris696969 says, "Can I have the tops?" Yeah. Send me a PM with your information, and I'll just charge you shipping for it. My personal opinion is it's gonna be a waste of your money, but if you want it, you want it. Jolly says, "You were so right about the ID80 sounding bad, but it's such an affordable 75 that supports VIA, so now it's a work board." Yeah. Where can you get the ID80? I got mine from AliExpress, but I know Drop did a drop not too long ago. I don't actually know if that has shipped yet or not. What's in the iron right now? In the iron are Novelkeys Silk Yellows, which is probably a switch I did not expect to like as much as I do. Hippo Buckles and Keycaps Official. Thanks for following. Stock silk or relubed? Stock. Because I literally got them about, what, 10 to 15 minutes before the start of my stream. How am I liking the silks? I actually really like them. The only thing I'm not too happy about is the sound. I feel like it's a little too high-pitched, but I've actually gotten quite used to them. They're not a bad sound, just not my preferred sound. My preferred sound is actually milky top, black bottom. So let's see how this changes the boards. Lugi says, "Are they dry?" No, they are the silk ones. So they are the white topped, or the white housing ones. But this build that I'm doing today, these are 205G0 lubed Get Blacks with the spring oiled with TX oil, which, in case if you guys don't know, it's basically just paraffin oil. Nothing special there. Alright, let's get this in. Wait, TX lube is different from like Krytox? Yeah, it's here, let me show you. Look at that, that's one of my vials of TX oil. Let's bring that up closer. I know it's really bright, but look, it's just a fluid. That's some paraffin oil. Rocky says, is TX oil better than Krytox? I'm not sure if it's better. Okay, so my lubing style is I take 205G0 and I lube the springs with them as well. I've never actually used Krytox 105 for any springs. But for this build, I was feeling lazy, so I got this. Got this instead. Where did you get the TX oil from? It's from txkeyboards.com. But if you guys have like a Home Depot or a Lowe's in your area, or any kind of home supply store, I guess, look for paraffin oil. Paraffin oil is also lamp oil. Yeah, Yan says I just shake them. Speaking of shaking, here, this is what I do. I have a customer build right now. I've taken all his springs, I put it in a little condiment container like this. My formula is 2 drops per 10 springs. I put them on and I shake it. Yan says 1 drop of oil for every 10 springs. I just do 2. And I just shake it like that. I thought it was 1 drop per spring. No. That would completely coat it. Like, you would probably fill up this condiment container if you did that. Super oily. Like, you could. I just don't think it would be a very good experience for you when you're actually teasing them out. Totally gets rid of the ping. I agree. Too much oil is bad. Dust collector. Yeah, that's another thing you guys need to think about. TX spring luber makes it look like 1 drop per spring works. Well, it's not that it won't work. I just think it's messier. Garlic says, if it wasn't for COVID, I would be in Seattle near you. Might get a board build. Hey, let me know. I do have to tell people though that my spots are filling up. Like at this point, I only have availabilities. No, let me look. September, 1 in November, and 1 in December. So it's really, yeah, things have caught up ever since I put up that build post. Which is great, you know. I'm happy that people are taking me up on my build services. But if any of you guys are my customers right now, please put your name on your package. I don't want to have to like open up your packages and be like, it's a key cult. This must belong to customer blah 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 blah. Zoombalt says, I would be in San Fran if it wasn't for COVID. If it wasn't for COVID, so many things to do. Where to get a build requested? PM me on Discord or on Reddit, or yeah, just get a hold of me. Here, let me actually link my Reddit build services. There we go. This has my most up-to-date pricing. Rolly says, is this hot swap? Yes, this is hot swap. This is the KBD67 Mark II RGB V2. See, Mosaic Dev says, have you joined any group buys lately? Yes, I am part of the 7V group buy. I am part of the Think group buy. I'm part of the Port group buy. Probably a few others, you know. I think I might have forgotten a few there. You only bought caps lately? Garlic says, And do we order the parts or can you source them? I am a labor service. If I were to source parts for people, I think I would have to more than triple my price. Triple my price for liability reasons. Like, imagine if someone like wanted a Korean board and had me get it, right? Gave me like $300, $400, $500 or something, and I try and join in, and I actually make it in, but the scammer scams me. Like imagine being able to return the money to that customer who commissioned the build for me. It would just be a complete mess. Scott says, "Did you join the Zenits?" No, I did not. I actually want to save my money for a couple stream updates, which I will hopefully be revealing in the next month or so. You wouldn't mind paying $90 if I sourced it? Well, there's no guarantee that I'll be able to source it either, but yeah, it's just... it's not something that I want to spend time on. It's liability and time. Like, I think if I ever had to source parts for someone, I'd probably charge $300. $300 just for the service itself. That's excluding the parts. The Perpetual says, "I see you're supporting the hot swap socket with your hand. I learned the hard way to do that." Yeah, that's the thing. Zoom Maltas, hoping to get a Duck Orion. Bought one and it arrived damaged a few days ago. Oof. So Perpetual, another way to do this is not just doing it with your hands. Like what I'm doing right now is I'm actually putting in anchor switches right now so that the plate doesn't shift too much. But once I have a lot of switches in, I'm just going to use my desk here as like the backing. Is that Kale socket's really tight? It's not the Kale socket, it's the brass plate. Endgame FYI says, "Hey Merlin, hello to you too. Your switches were chipping when you put them in the brass." Well, it depends which switches, because some switches, notably the creams, are even tighter. Creams and I'd say inks. Inks are tight too. Not as tight as the creams though. Now, since there are a good number of you tonight, maybe you guys can help me out. I am looking to upgrade my stream PC, this whole setup that I have here right now, because it's somewhat aging. I bought most of my components in mid 2016 to early 2017, around that time period. So, you know, things have changed. Things have changed in 3 years. I'm currently running a Core i7 7700K, if I'm not mistaken, 7700K, which only has 4 cores. And I'm noticing that when I'm streaming, I can't really play games. I can't really do too many things. So I'm wondering if you guys have any recommendations. The Rechap says Hackintosh again. More than likely, yes. Endgame says, I know nothing, I'm a Mac guy. Well, yeah, if I had like 7,000, I'll just buy one of their new Macs. Let's see. Ryzen 5, 3600, 32 gigs of RAM, Ryzen 7. Okay, so that's the thing. I'm not sure if those Ryzen processors can be supported on a Hackintosh. So that means I'm gonna have to switch to Windows if I were to do that. But another solution though is to actually use a Windows machine for streaming and still continue using this machine as my regular one. Endgame says Windows, no. I will need to stay Intel. Yeah, if you guys know any Intel stuff. Coffee Lake. Coffee Lake. Yeah, I've got like a few Mac Minis here that are somewhat old. But definitely in no shape to be streaming on them. You can run the Ryzen stuff on High Sierra with some hacks. Even Threadripper. Not sure about 3rd gen. Once you go Mac, you never go back. It's funny you say that. I actually work full-time in a Mac environment. So for most of my day, I actually use a real Apple product, but for streaming, all this is Hackintosh. Sweet Popcorn, thanks for following. I see Perpetual, you followed too. Intel Core i7 10700 Comet Lake. I bet that's gonna cost me like 700 bucks. Slayer CR77 says hello. Hello to you too. You recognized my name from the VIA tutorial. With Apple leaving x86, it's gonna be a rough few years in Apple builds their walled garden higher. Endgame says Mech Merlin is via. No, I'm not actually part of that team. I'm a part of the QMK team along with Yan here. Did I screw that one up? I guess I'll find out later. Use my Raspberry Pi to stream. That would be a very harrowing process. You got the Noah even after my warning, Slayer? Well, best of luck to you. It's a very aesthetically pleasing board. And I guess once you get like a key map on that you like, it's not going to be any different than any other board. So yeah, just, and if you like how it sounds, more power to you as well. Alright, so I've got enough switches here to really keep this PCB secure. Like, this is a hot swap build, so the plate itself has screws that screws the PCB in. But now I'm going to use the back of my desk here, or my desk mat. And I'm going to, actually, I don't want to put indentations on my desk mat, so I'm going to grab like a rubber mat of sorts. Here we go. Rubber mats of sorts, I believe from some other keyboard that got shipped to me. Keycaps official says, do you collect artisans, Merlin? I do not, actually. That is one part of this hobby that I've never gotten interested in. I do have some artisans though that have been gifted to me over the years. Do you usually listen to jazz or just when streaming? Back when I was in high school, I was part of the jazz band. So yeah, and I do listen to jazz every now and then. I played alto sax. It's funny, I like jazz, but I've never actually played jazz on my regular instrument. I'm a guitarist now, but it's not something that I've ever tried doing on that. Still playing? Can I get some George Michael? No, my alto sax is long gone. I stopped playing in like high school. Like I played a little bit during college, like just whenever I went back home, but it was just never like a passion after that. I was more interested in guitars. Like after I was done with the alto sax, I started getting into the guitar gear world. Bought quite a few guitars during my time. Alto sax stream when? Probably never. But for those of you who don't play alto sax, here's a tidbit. This is a interesting fact. So the key patterns for a saxophone, so you hold it like this, and then one on the bottom. If you turn that the other way like this, that's the same pattern to play a flute. So technically, if you can play a sax, you can play a flute as well, as long as you're able to like change your ligature and all that. How did I get into the MK scene? Let's see, it was probably my first job after college. Had a full-size keyboard, yay big, and you know, typing on it day in, day out started hurting my shoulder. And you know, just being like a programmer, I was like, you know, this comes with the territory. Like this is what happens. For example, if you're a construction worker, you're gonna get pains over your back and stuff. If this is just what happens when you're a programmer, so I just have to deal with it, right? One of my coworkers started buying pokers, and he was like, "Hey, Merlin, you should try this one out." Blah 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 blah. Took him a while, but eventually, when I started typing on a poker, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, there's no more pain. What is this? What is this?" And one thing led to the next. And here I am. Here I am, spending all my money on keyboards. But yeah, I guess you could say freedom from pain was a very strong motivator in why I'm in this hobby. But why I'm still in this hobby would probably be because of the community. No, Harris, it's because when you have a full-size board, let's see if I can get both my hands in frame here. Here, basically like that, right? What happens is you move your shoulder, especially if you're right-handed, over to where your mouse is, and you end up here. Let me change my scene here. You end up like doing this, right? Over the years, I've noticed that the size of your board needs to match you physically. For example, the biggest board you should ever buy and be comfortable with, or ergonomically, has to be no wider than your torso. So look, I'm a relatively small person, and a iron 165, 65% board is a little smaller than how wide my torso is. But if you got something like a 96 key or like something like that, it's going to be much wider and it's going to cause your shoulders to spread out a little bit more. Butterlore says, can you add O-rings to the top mount areas like a burger mount to make it feel softer? In my opinion, burger mount doesn't necessarily make a top mount feel softer, but it does change the sound. I'm sure many people will disagree with me on that, but that's been my own experience. Like we have almost all the switches in. Hooray! Check it out, guys. It's only been, I started at 1:30. It's now 2:23 p.m. here in Seattle, Washington. Almost done with the build. Might be my fastest build stream yet. Butterlore says, does it usually make it sound better or worse in your experience? For me personally, I think it sounds a little bit better. It tends to dampen any of the rattles from the plate and the actual top here, but I feel that the difference is so minimal. It's so minimal that it's almost not worth it. Your mileage may vary though. Have I tried making my own custom cables? No, I have not. I guess that's another part of the hobby that I've never really delved into. It's a fun little rabbit hole. Yeah, there's so many aspects of this community that like you can fall into. Like for me, the parts of the hobby that I'm most interested in are keyboards itself, of course, and also like the software aspect of it. Which is why if you guys hang around my channel a lot, you'll notice that some of the topics that I talk about are more technical in nature. I like to claim that I am one of the reasons why the community has finally adopted ESD protection. It's because I talk about it non-stop. Of course, there are those people who actually implemented it, which totally did more work than me. All I did was talk about it. What do I do for work? I am a software engineer. Well, less engineer these days, but more manager. I feel like I haven't really done much engineering work for the last year or so. So I'm currently working from home. Has that affected workflow? Yes, it has actually. Normally I work with two monitors at work, and I have all of my tests set up there. I've got like a bunch of Mac Minis and like whatnot. And I have a MacBook that I sync up. These days it's just me sitting on a couch and typing on my MacBook. Like, sure, I could hook it up to my setup right here because I've got nice monitors. I've got a monitor in the back as well, but that's for my wife. So it's been, I don't know, I just don't want to disrupt too much of this in order to work. Do I use wrist rest? No, I do not. but I should. In fact, 159 of Project Keyboard always harps on me to like use a wrist rest, because he notices that when I type, I tend to put my wrist on there as well, and he gets concerned about my wrist here. Harris says, when you type, does your wrist float? Yep, I think I just answered that. Answered your question before I read your question. Yay me. Sylvester Stalin. I started to learn C just to understand what I'm doing to set up my perfect key map. Awesome. C is one of the oldest programming languages in the book. And there's lots of documentation about it. It's not a bad place to start. Though I would say it's one of the more complicated languages as well. Are Mac Mini viable as main desktop? I actually don't know. I'd be curious to see if you could do Final Cut Pro on it. Maybe I'll just wander into into the Apple Store someday and ask them to demo Final Cut Pro on one. Like, I think it's viable for like Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom, and like other relatively basic things. And here we go. One switch. Two switch. And we are done. We are done putting switches all into the board. Now to make sure that none of them are actually bent, so we'll have to test that really quick. Let's see. You got the 0305 Milmax sockets. Are they worth keeping or just buying 7305? So the 0305 sockets are longer than the 7305. So if the board that you're putting it in doesn't have much clearance, you are going to short your board completely. Butterlore says, weird since they can fit a soldered GPU into a laptop, but not a Mac Mini. That's marketing for you guys. Alright, let's test this out. Did I bend any pins, or did I not? Let's bring up one of my favorite testers here. Basically just QMK configurator test mode. There we go. Alright. Time to grab a spare USB-C cable. Let's plug it in and hopefully everything works here. So far so good. And these are feeling absolutely smooth. Yay for me. I actually lubed all of these last night while I was watching The Umbrella Academy. The Perpetual says, is your waifu into programming and keyboard too? Looks like the auto mod got you on that. No, my wife is definitely not. They're asking if you're into keyboards and programming too. It's no. Okay. That's my FN key, I think. Let me test that. There we go. Perfect. Everything works. Woohoo! Okay. Awesome. Awesome possum. Let me just tighten a few things up here. Just to be absolutely sure. See, Butterlore says, do you think custom mech keyboards are recently gaining in popularity? Of course, of course. I think thanks to the efforts of people like Teha types, and I've been noticing there are other like bigger streamers or like bigger YouTubers who weren't in this hobby to begin with, like Linus Tech Tips have talked about mechanical keyboards a lot. Random Frank P. There's like a lot of them these days. However, there is still that mindset. Like, people will readily spend $1,000, $2,000 on their desktop, you know, because like graphics cards are like $500 to $800, sometimes over $1,000. People will readily spend money on that, but on a keyboard, people will still be hard pressed to spend more than $80 on one. There we go. All right. Let's bring back the other scene. There we go. See, Guppy says, I think Project Keyboard just scanned me out of a group buy. Uh-oh. Have you reached out to them? Alright guys, I just want to show off my fantastic foam cutting ability again. Look at that. This never happens, but I just did a really good job at it. I am really proud of myself. Look at that. I cut it almost perfectly. Alright, let's put it on. Let's put it on. Is that shelf liner? Yes, it is. Or specifically toolbox liner. I buy mine from Fred Meyer just because it's closer, but you can get the same thing from Home Depot. Alright. Let's put that together. What does foam mainly do? Feel and sound? Yes. So usually if you have a big hollow space underneath your keyboard, like most keyboards actually, any reverberations from maybe like your spring, your plate, or just you typing hard on your keyboard, all of that is gonna echo inside this chassis. And the bigger that chamber is inside, the bigger that echo. How many layers of shelf liner did you put in? I only put one. Nope, screwdriver almost fell off the table. I only put one just because I didn't want to have to squeeze so hard when shutting this case. But some people put two. Some people try and put three. Did you find this foam at like Home Depot? No, I found this particular foam from Fred Meyer. Let me actually pull out the roll that I just bought so you guys can see, but here we go. Here. If you guys have a Home Depot nearby, oh, that is a bad link. I am not going to link that to you guys. It was a terrible link. It was like 10 lines long. Here, will this work better? Yep, this link is much nicer. Customer support says, hey Merlin, hello to you too. There we go. That's a good foam to use. But the specific foam that I use is this. Look at this. I got this from Fred Meyer. It is made by Magic Cover. That's probably why I got it, because it's magic. It's called Solid Grip Liner. Non-adhesive, non-slip on both sides. Washable and durable. 18 inches by 4 feet. Look at that. I picked this whole thing up for about $6.79 plus tax. Link says access denied. Really? It's not like I'm logged in here. Here. Yeah, it's not like I'm logged into the Home Depot website or like anything. It might be your like ISP or your internet. Who knows? Yeah, this is what I got, guys. It's not just any shelf liner. You know, remind you all again. What does that say? What does that say? Oh, it's too bright. There we go. That says Magic Cover. It's magic. Just bought a polycarb KBD67. Congratulations. Hope you like it. The polycarb version will sound much better than this. I actually wanted to get one myself, but after I kept looking at the photos, I'm just like, you know, polycarb has never looked all that good to me. And I'm not sure if I care so much about sound that I would completely disregard the aesthetics. Last screw. That is the last. No, it's not the last screw. One more screw. Did I get the Think 6.5? Yes, I did. You know, I actually wasn't gonna get it. Absolutely was not gonna get it. But then I was watching Alex Soto's. Like, the more I looked at it, the more I wanted it. And I'm like, damn. I think that's the power of seeing something on stream. Like, I think up to then, I had seen 3 streams about the Think. And I survived like the first 2 being like, yeah, it's a nice board. Looks good. Looks good. Not sure how I feel about the logo. Not sure how I feel about, you know, like that anchor on the back. Kind of looks a little tacky, but kind of feeling it. And by the 3rd stream, I was just like, yeah, I gotta have that. I succumbed to marketing. I succumbed to marketing. See, Jamal Rayner says, what Think 6.5? I got the Ocean one. Ocean Eyes. I figured with the ocean theme, I could put my Nautilus on it. Alright. The board is done. All we gotta do is top it with some keycaps. Let's see. Perpetual says, do you ever feel like you get too hyper-focused on finishing a board? What do you mean by that? Hyper-focused? Like, wanting to make the board good? Try not to make mistakes and all that? rolled the dice and did the random option, the Schrodinger. As in, you forget to eat, socialize, etc. The longest build I've ever done, which you can actually see on YouTube, was the Discipline 65. I think that clocked in at roughly 5 hours. I'd say no, I've never gone that far. That's because I'm a relatively fast builder. Alright, let's see. What am I putting on this? I am putting on one of the very first ABS keycap sets that I ever purchased. For the longest time, I was really big into PBT, and I was like, you know, maybe it's time to try ABS. I bought this back in 2017. This is JTK Orange on Black. But Merlin, didn't you have XDA oblique on it? I did, but I have another customer wanting me to build a KBD67, and they're gonna put ABS caps on it. GMKs specifically. So I kind of wanted to compare this with whatever the customer sends me. But before we do that, I just want to take this time to talk about some of my beautiful sponsors. And no, Home Depot is not a sponsor. Let me close that. But who knows? One day. Here goes. All right. In addition to all of you wonderful people who follow and subscribe to me, I also have several vendors who I get a small kickback from, small kickbacks, or basically a kickback towards you guys, such as Novelkeys. But we'll be talking about my first one. The very first vendor that I have partnered with is actually up in Richmond, Canada. This is Zeal PC. Zeal PC, probably... I'm very, very thankful to Zeal PC, just because I was on a huge tactile kick way back in the day. Could not find it in Cherry MX Brown, because Cherry MX Browns feel like linears. And when he finally came out with a tactile switch that I didn't have to Franken switch together, it made me switch from Alps over to MX. Yeah, this is the whole deal. I was on an Alps kick until Zeal PC entered in. These days he has quite a few other products, not just tactile Zelios, but he's got linears and he's got silence and silent versions of like each of those products. Unfortunately, he is also one of the more expensive vendors in our hobby. As much as I would prefer you guys to click on that link right now and, you know, purchase through that link so I get a kickback, all of his stuff is expensive, so try and buy only during a group buy, either through Zeal PC himself or through Massdrop or through any other vendor that does a group buy. Zoombolt says, how are Alps linears? There are linear Alps such as SKCL greens, which I think I'll be building one in the next month. Let's see. Next vendor is Novelkeys. Novelkeys is from West Virginia. Novelkeys actually sponsored part of this build. He surprised me with some GAT yellow inks. I had only asked him for like a small sample. I was thinking like 5 switches or so, but he sent me enough to build an iron. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Novelkeys. But yeah, Novelkeys is located in West Virginia. You guys can see that link that I put up out there. If you use discount code WIZARD, you can get 5% off any in-stock item. Does not include pre-order or group buy. Speaking of group buys, what's he running these days? Novelkeys is running GMK Mecha 01 and GMK Hammerhead just ended actually. Here we go. If you're interested in a purplish set, which I can't see by the way, base set is 125 bucks. Berserk base 115. Extras 52, Novelties 65. Whew, that's expensive for Novelties. And 30 for the Spacebars. Group buy will run until August 7th. And because this is GMK and GMK is completely backed up, expect delivery sometime March of next year or later. Go. Right, Santa says, great guy NK, absolutely. My next sponsor is also located here in the United States, Dixie Mac. Dixie Mac is located in Alabama. He's currently running 2 group buys right now. One is GMK Nuclear Data, which is expiring today, and Pono is expiring August 14th. So let's look at Nuclear Data really quick. This is round 2, like round 2 of Nuclear Data. Round 1 was basically in SA, but there seems to be a dislike of the SA profile in our community. And I can totally understand it because I also dislike SA. But here, let's just take a look at this really quick. For the base set, 125 bucks. Novelties are 45. Spacebars are 27. And Cadet is also 35. Expiring today. Today's August 1st. And approximate shipping time is Q2 of 2021. So think of this as March or later. Let's see, his other set is Pono, which is something I personally am more interested in, just because it's cat themed and I love cats. In fact, I might get a cat this month. We'll see. We'll see. Look at that. This one runs till August 14th. Pricing on it, roughly the same as pretty much any GMK set. Look at that, 125 for the standard and 50 for the novelties. But keep in mind, because this is GMK, similar to the other set, Q2 of 2021 or later, and always count on it being later. Alright guys, my next sponsor is a fellow QMK collaborator. This is Keebio, owned by a gentleman named Baking Pie or Danny. He sells quite a few of these DIY friendly boards, like the sink. Check that out, the 75% split Keeb. So many things, and as you guys can see, I have a discount code, wizardhat. You can get up to 15% off any of these items. I actually personally need to build a BDN9. If you guys caught my build about 3 weeks ago, I messed up. I messed up this customer's build. I put the Pro Micro on the other side. So even though the pins matched up, it blocked one of the switches. So I told him I would just buy him one of these because it's cheap. $12.99. Comes with the kit and everything. But what I highly recommend to buy on his website are these guys. Peel away sockets for Pro Micros. Pro Micros die quite frequently, and every now and then we get some form of an upgrade in the community, like an Elite C, Proton C, might be a Pro Micro 2 in the future, who knows. And you don't want to have to desolder all of these things. It is very painful. So if you have a peel away socket, you can literally just pry up your Pro Micro and you'll get it off really quick. My next sponsor is another one here in the United States, Project Keyboard. Project Keyboard's actually a very long time supporter of my channel. I feel like when I first streamed, he was the first vendor to watch me. He's been very gracious to me and some of my questions about his site and all that. He just finished a group buy for the Allen Gate, but his current group buy is GMK Sumi. If you guys haven't heard of GMK Sumi, this is a black and white set. Base goes for 135, Hiragana for 70, Novelties 56, Spacebars 35, 40s 43, Desmat, Bonsai, Sakura, Koi, Ghost Koi, Kanji, and Tori. Oh, actually, that's not a dust mat. These two are these two are Rama keycaps. A lot of people keep asking me, Merlin, are you buying GMK Sumi? I'm not a big fan of the black and white aesthetic. I'd prefer either full black or full white, just because black and white reminds me of back in the day when I tried to piece old cherry boards together with other old cherry boards so that I could, I could populate an entire keyboard with it. And this just looks, to me, it just reminds me of that time period, so I don't necessarily like it. What I do like are the desk mats. These are gorgeous, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. I am gonna buy this one, and then I'm gonna frame them, and then I'm gonna put them on that wall behind me so that I have something more here, because right now it's just a workstation and like a rack. I'm trying to make the background look a little nicer. So this will hopefully do something for me. We'll see. All right. Next up, next sponsor. Yes, I've got lots of sponsors. Canon Keys. Canon Keys is also located in the United States, in Rhode Island to be specific. He's running a few group buys, actually. Let's talk about SA Misu. Misu is one of my favorite key sets. I'm glad that it's coming back, but as you guys know, I'm not a big fan of SA, so I'm a little bit hesitant about buying this. But if you are interested, the base goes for 140, homing goes for 7, and you've got Rama caps as well. One of the more popular things about the GMK Mizu group buy was the desk mat. So here's your second chance to get a Mizu desk mat. I think the Koi was more popular than the Moon. Very cool. Zoomwalt says that is such a low price for SA. I totally agree with you. His other group buy is GMK Bread. Look at that. Get that bread. Let's see, base set goes for 135. Alt alphas are actually no longer available. They did not hit MOQ. Novelties are at 40. Extension is at 43. Of course, there's a Rama cap, and it's at $55.99, and an Artisan for $35. And as usual, this is a GMK set, so let's see. You guys got... Actually, today is the last day for this, so if bread is something that you like, go and click that link. Keep in mind, this set is to be delivered sometime next year. Q2, possibly Q3, who knows. Everything's backed up. Let's see, his other group buy, the one that I'm very interested in, is Canon Keys. There's a Canon Cap 0. Check this out. If you guys liked GMK Sumi but didn't like the Japanese characters on it, this might be the set for you. It's a cherry profile PBT die sub. It's with a great design from Rensuya. Check it out, guys. The set will run from August 1st to September 1st. Pretty beautiful, huh? I actually need to post about this. I completely forgot about this, even though I talked about it earlier this week. 0 looks like Oblivion. White alphas with monochrome mods. See, look at that. That looks really good. You know, I might want to try this. We'll see. I am always on the lookout for more cherry profile sets, so this might be a good one to try. Hopefully there will be very little warpage, which is common with a lot of PBT sets. Alright, last but not the least is actually my newest keyboard vendor, located here in Seattle, Washington. He reached out to me a few weeks ago saying, Merlin, you promote me. I'm like, yeah, Seattle homie. This is keyboardlube.com. keyboardlube.com, located here in Seattle, Washington. And as you guys can see from the screen right now, not only does he sell lube, he's actually sold out, so sorry about that, guys. He also sells stabilizers. You can get Everglide / Durock screw and stabs of the 2U variant, and I believe 6.25U is available as well. Awesome. 7U as well. Oh, awesome. All of his stabs are in stock, because last week his 6.25 and his 7U were all out of stock. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Right, in terms of lubricant, he is still sold out, but he does sell 205G0 in 3, 5, 10, 20, and 40 milliliter variants, along with GPL 105 at 5 and 10 milliliter variants. Yeah, definitely check him out. If you want Mil-Max sockets, he has also a good source for 0305, which are the longer ones, and 7305, which are the shorter ones. Check it out. From what I've heard in the community, he ships relatively fast. I've never actually bought stuff from him just because he told me I could just meet up with him. We're like literally in the same city or so. Oh, I'd be like, hey man, I need some lube. Can you come over? I need some stabs. Like, hey man, I'm like on a stream right now and like the stabs are broken. Can you like come by really quick? I don't know if he'll actually do that for me, but I kind of want to try. Maybe I will. Who knows? Alright guys, back to this build. Back to the build. We are going to be putting JTK caps on it. Orange on black. So long ago, as I started to increase in my Keycaps collection size, I noticed that I just couldn't keep them all in bags. So I started buying all of these trays, also from Fred Meyer, same place where I buy my foam. And no, I'm not sponsored by Fred Meyer. I bought each of these for about, I think they're normally $5, but if you buy them on sale, you can buy like 1 for 2 or something. So I started buying a bunch of these. So if you guys look at my, actually, here we go. You guys can look at my rack where my finger is, right there. You'll see a lot of the trays going up like that. Hopefully I'm pointing correctly. Yeah, those are all keycaps. So many keycaps. The Ronin says that would be more than a sponsor spot. That would be a sponsor bomb. Sponsored by Fred Meyer. I'll be like, and if you buy these switches, we will include groceries with that. Who knows? Alright guys, let's go put these on. Let's put on these caps. You know what? This board already sounds better than it previously did. I'm already really happy. Perpetual says, fix my stabs. Control. See, someone said, hello, evening Merlin. Ronin Otaku. Not quite evening for me yet, but it is mid-afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. It's always nice having like a board in front of me when I'm putting on caps, because it's not like I've completely memorized everything yet. Yorha says, hello fellow Seattleite. Hello to you too. Hope you're doing good in the middle of this quarantine. summer this year is pretty mellow. It's nice. Well, it was really hot a few days ago. If you guys catch the build stream where I built this, my mic just gave out. I think it's because my mixer board died on me, like it overheated. And then there was like what? I think it was on Thursday night. My router flicked off for some odd reason. Merlin, how do you usually straighten switches that are just a bit crooked after soldered? I think it starts off in like how you're soldering them, right? I usually solder one leg, and then I reflow the solder as I align that switch. If it's already crooked like that, I think your best bet would be to desolder. Okay, yeah, got it. So desolder both and have a go at it from scratch. Yeah, that's really the best way. I know it's a little bit more involved than you would want, but doing it right the first time will absolutely save you grief later. Have you tinkered with building tech before mech keyboards? Building tech, what do you mean? Like building computers? Because with building computers, I have built desktops since I was 9. I don't know, like fixing a watch or building something. I've never actually fixed a watch before. Never tried, but let's see, what other stuff have I built? I've done electronics for guitars. Like, here, actually. Is it this guitar? No, it's another one of my guitars, which I don't want to pull out. I've soldered capacitors, I've soldered pickups on guitars. See what else. I've done small projects as well, but never on stream. This is like well before I started YouTube. Do you recommend filming Gateron Milky Blacks? Personally, I think film should only be reserved for like switches that actually wobble a lot. Like for example, Milky Blacks don't wobble too much in my opinion, but anything JWK such as alpacas, mobs, what else? Even the silks. You should absolutely consider it. That's too big. Here you go, there's my enter key. Enter! It is already sounding better than it used to, so I am very pleased. I am very pleased at my handiwork. I will have to meet up with Charles. Charles is my customer who I last built a KBD67 for, and compare his build. There's my A key. There's the T. As you guys can see, this set has considerable shine on it. Because I've had it for so long. Hello. Six bracket. Ha, got my escape key. There we go. Don't need the caps lock. I do want the 3 key and the 2 key. What else am I missing here? I am missing a tab key. Let's grab one. Oh, tab key, where did you go? X. Alt. Oh, there we go. There's the tab key. Perfect. And do I have an FN key that's 1.25U? Because that would be great. Really prefer a 1.25U FN key. If not, I'll just put a control key there. I'll just put a control key, oh well. Okay, we gotta do this side. Let's see, I like to do mine with page up. That's actually not the right one. Page down. The right one? Nope, that is not the right page down. Oh well, let's do that. Page up. An end key, it's too high. Where are you? End key. Could use an end key. The scroll lock. Nope, don't need that. Don't need that either. Delete. Maybe I'll use that. Who knows? Oh look, there's a little Keycap key there. Maybe I'll put that on top. Keycap. Keycap. The very first forum that I joined, I'd say. There we go. End key. Does that work? Sure. Sure it works. And I need to borrow a spacebar. El Jacador says, what switches were you rocking before, Merlin? I was rocking Yok Tactile Trash Pandas. Burgers Lostro says, is this ski data? No, this is not. This is JTK Orange on black. Should I completely put the I think I'll just put the Counter-Strike stuff on it. It's gonna be funny. There you go. Let's do that. Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Gamer board, because I don't have a gamer board yet, so this is gonna be my gaming board. There we go, guys. That's it. My new gaming board, quote unquote. Check it out. It's sounding pretty good, actually. Much better than my previous build. And I actually like the sounds of this more than I like the sound of that. Silver 3, here I come. Alright. I thought I could put a little lube on that. It sounds a little too... Might have wiped some out earlier. There we go. Let us put some dielectric grease on it really quick. Clean, sir. This is clean, says Guppy. Thanks, man. That CS set, though. There. We're just gonna add a tiny bit of dielectric. I think I might have wiped some away during the build. Normally you want to do this before, but just wanted to get the board done. Alright, that should do the trick. Yep, the rattle is gone. So kind of loud, but I think that's what you get. All right, let's test out the board. Let's do a typing test. Top and test, here I come. Ooh. Show you guys that again. My new quote-unquote gaming board. I will be doing another KBD67 build in the near future. They'll be using Telios though. I showed it off earlier on stream, but I'm currently lubing his springs and all that, so still a work in progress. He was gonna film his Telios and all that, so once all that gets in, I'll be able to build his board and compare it to mine. Okay, let's do this. Let's bring up that typing test. Typing test, where are you? Oh, hold on. I just thought of something. Let's actually turn on the RGB for this. Let's turn on the RGB really quick. Can I actually turn on the RGB? Oh wait. Here we go. There we go. LEDs are on. Not sure if you guys can see that because I have black keycaps. Here, let's lower the light a little bit. Let's lower the light. You guys see it? Yeah, you guys can't see it. Here, let's up the brightness a bit. Here, let's bring that up. Maybe could use a tiny bit of light. Yeah, I can see the RGB. Here, let's toggle that a bit more. Wow, that's just extremely hard to see. Holy cow. Okay, I don't know, guys. I can see it, but it's just not just coming through. Camera can't see the RGB. Okay. Yeah, Yan, I'm sorry. I'm not using a gaming camera. Only gaming cameras can see the RGB. I'm just using a regular camera. But maybe I should upgrade. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. Not the right FPS. Could be as well. Here we go. Let me set this up. Okay, that is not a color I like. Let's do carbon so that it matches the key set a little bit more. Carbon, or what's another orange one? Orange, orange, orange. Yuri? No, Yuri's not orange. Yeah, let's just stick with carbon. Here we go. Carbon, let's up the light a bit more so you guys can see that. And I'm gonna pause the music. Pause the music. We're gonna bring the mic a tiny bit closer. So actually not that close, because then I can't see what I'm typing. Alright, here goes. Gonna stretch out. Oops, not even focused on the screen quite yet. Wait a second, what happened? There we go. %91%. Gamer cameras. I guess Logitech has work ahead of them to improve upon the C920. Alright, let's do another test. So far I'm liking it, though the spacebar is bothering me. I might have to lube that a little bit more. Yeah, these are Gateron blacks. Not ink blacks, just Gateron blacks that are on Novelkeys. It's $240 for a pack of 10. So if you use my discount code of Wizard, it'll give you 5% off. $146, 89%. Yeah. Shoots. I like it. I definitely like it better than these switches. So I am much more pleased with how this board turns out. Go. Darian says they're out of stock, unfortunately. Uh-oh. This stuff goes pretty quick these days. Yeah, I am much happier with how this board turned out. I might actually keep it. I think at the start of the stream I was saying that if I didn't end up liking it after this, I was just gonna sell it. Do I like it more than the NK65 at this point? Maybe. We'll see. Let's pull out my NK. Oh, wait. It doesn't have keycaps. It does not have keycaps, unfortunately, so I can't just compare it. But yeah. Much better sounding board. Keep in mind my switches are lubed, so if you were just to take your regular Gateron black, it's gonna sound completely different. Here. I wonder if you guys can actually hear the difference between a lubed one. See, I see a couple more follows. Pog Keyboard, Yorha, Bag of Olives, Rupan, Positive Percy, thanks guys. So this is the lubed one right here. I'm gonna put it next to my mic. Actually, you guys don't need to see it from that angle. Let's show it from here. There we go, right there. There we go. Let me sit a little bit more to my right so you guys can see my beautiful face. There you go, this is my lubed one. Unlubed. So hopefully my mic is good enough, hopefully your speakers are good enough, and hopefully the internet is good enough that you can hear that with the lubed one, there is no spring ping. But with the unlubed one, you can hear it echo. There we go. Cool. I am quite pleased with how this board turned out, to be honest. Kind of had a feeling it would end up like that, because I built a customer's board with a full milky Gateron blacks. By full milky, it means that the top is milky, like what I have, and the bottom is also milky. Yeah. I like this board a lot now. So what do I think of the milky? I think the full milky one sounds a little bit better. But these are supposed to be smoother. Like this one's the good compromise between the good sound on the top and the smooth bottom. But since I lube my switches anyway, part of me is wondering maybe I should have just gotten the full milky, because I was very happy with the customer's build. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows, right? So I've kind of jumbled up which switch was which. Let's see if I can find the lubed one. That is unlubed. It's also unlubed. There we go. That's the lubed one. Let's see. Let's turn the music back on as I answer these last couple questions. Mr. Pubilito says, perfect, I bought milky yellows. Now you're happy. Now I'm happy, that's what you mean. Chen Bud says, McMerlin, what is your top 3 linear switch? I think Gateron Black Inks is one of my favorites, followed by any of the JWKs, and followed by probably any of these switches. I like the blacks, I like the yellows. They're all really good. Full milky are usually scratchy. That's the thing though. If you are a decent luber, you can make all that scratch go away. Okay, so that I don't mess this up again, I'm gonna put this in the bag. I'm gonna put these two in the bag that I haven't modified yet. Here we go. Yeah, it's just that these are much easier to get, in my opinion. Like, I know where to get them. It's Novelkeys. I actually don't know where to get full milky ones other than KBDFans. See, Primetime says milky blacks or yellows. I like them both. It depends on what I'm trying to do. I've noticed though that for gaming, I like lighter switches. These are 63.5, and I'm able to execute things a lot easier, I guess. When I'm typing or just scrolling through websites, I much prefer heavier switches. You know? Mr. Pubilito, I'm sorry you cannot post a link, but you can message me the link on Twitch here, and I will verify that you're not sending me salacious material, and then I'll post it. Do you TX film the black inks? No, I did not. I tend to only film when there is noticeable wobble. Mr. Privilito says, oh, well, those are full milky yellows. Maybe I will buy them in the future. As I was saying, I tend to try and buy from like local shops. Not just local to Seattle, Washington, but local here in the United States. A lot of our vendors are trying to get bigger so we can get more people into this hobby. I think that the more we support them, aka buy stuff from them, the bigger they can get, the better their marketing can be, and maybe the faster group buys will get to us. Who knows? Alright, well, I don't know what to do with these switches anymore. York Tactile Trash Pandas. Maybe I'll save them for a giveaway at some point. But Merlin, you're just giving away your trash. No, okay. If you are a person who likes tactile, you might actually like these. These are fairly tactile switches in my opinion. I'm like trying to type on my iron and I realize I haven't plugged it in. What is the specs of the trash? The specs of the trash are, let me bring it up here on screen for you. They were purchased on Novelkeys. Here, let's bring it up. Here we go. Trash Pandas. This is what I have right here. Pack of 10 for $5.50. They are, peak bump is around 67 with the bottom out being 70G. To be fair, this is actually a fairly tactile switch. See that? This is a fairly tactile switch. I do find the blueberry slightly more tactile and slightly more smooth. And I'm not sure if he'll ever restock these again. It's not like they were a very popular switch to begin with. Most people would probably buy them for Holy Pandas. Like, it's not focusing. Focus. There we go. If you like the Holy Panda type of tactility, this gives you something like that. Of course, it's not going to be as tactile as a Holy Panda, but it's a similar one. Mr. Pivolito says, can I put Gateron yellow spring on it? On these? Sure. The Gateron yellows are 65G bottom out. I think that should be fine. Like, if you put anything lower, the stem might not return. Yeah, these are lube too. I tried to rectify the scratchiness with lube, and it seems to have done a great job. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Let me grab another. I am out of Ziploc bags, so I will have to go to the kitchen and grab Ziploc bags for these so that I don't lose them. Because I think I have a smaller bag of unlubed ones, and I don't want to mix them up. Cool beans, cool beans. Say, alright guys, let's see what's next on my agenda. Yeah, this was probably one of my faster build streams ever, just because it was already partially built. Finished in an hour and a half. Thank God for hot swap switches, or hot swap sockets, I mean. See, thank you guys for joining in. My next stream is going to be tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m. PST. That's more of my news stream in which I talk about all group buys that are ending and starting for the week in front of us. So if that is the type of information, if that is the type of news that you like to watch, definitely tune in at 7:30 p.m. PST. Oh, my mic's not there. Yeah, I always have to go through them on like Saturdays because I can prepare for the stream on Wednesday, but every now and then people are like, oh, let's submit it. Let's submit it to Geekhack. Let's submit it to like Reddit on Friday night. So I always have to check, not just today, but even tomorrow morning to see what's ending and what's starting. So if that's information that you guys find useful, check me out tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. And before I log out, is there anyone online that we can raid? People always tell me, Merlin, you need to raid someone, you need to raid someone. Let's see, who is online right now? Ooh, Apiary. Apiary's at 535. 535 viewers. Let's raid her. Let's go send people her way, since she's always sent people my way. Let's do that. Here we go. What's she building? She is building a... Oh, it's a giveaway stream too. Perfect. Featuring the new Weird Flex PCB. Okay, let's go raid her. Let us raid. Clavier is streaming as well? I didn't see him. Pretty sure I'm following him. But yeah, let's just raid Apiary, because Apiary always raids me. So let's go return it. Raiding gives you Twitch wrap. Really? Okay. Perfect. Apiary. Alright guys, I'm gonna start the raid. I just pressed the button. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Alright, goodbye guys. See you next time.